Peace and blessings, soul family. I love you all. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day today. We're back with you, checking in, seeing how everybody is doing. I just had to come and give some word about the coolest thing that has ever happened to me. So when I was growing up and I was really young, when I would hear voices and see things and stuff like that, where my family was Southern Baptist Christian, plenty of the people would tell me that it's the devil, it's demons, not to listen to it. Because when I was much younger, the voices definitely told me horrible things to do. So it made sense to me. I was like, okay, that's what it is. But then as I got older, I became really atheistic, I guess you would say, where I had deconstructed from religion, and at that point I was just like, nothing exists. I was very nihilistic. But anyways, started getting treated for my mental illness and stuff like that. But every doctor that I've ever gone to, they always deny, none of it's real. Something's wrong with you, you're mentally ill, and it's not a gift, basically. But I moved out of state from where I grew up, about 300 miles away from where I grew up, and it's in the middle of nowhere in the country. It's like up in the top of the mountains. But I finally just recently switched doctors, and I now have the absolute coolest therapist you would ever meet in the entire world. I was feeling like I needed to start doing some talk therapy again. So yeah, I went and saw her and had the doctor at that office actually writing my meds now, my psych meds. But a lot of the things I was explaining to her about the voices and how when I was younger they were bad, but then as I got older, they're basically just like saying things like, you're sick, you're gonna die, you're not feeling well, something's wrong with you. That's a lot what they would say that's negative wise, but for the most part it's just random stuff that they say. But my doctor actually affirmed me. She's even experiencing, her and her husband are even experiencing some of the things that I've been experiencing my whole life. But she even was like, my husband said that the veil between worlds has lifted, or is lifting, and that's why we're all starting to have all these extremely paranormal spiritual experiences and stuff. We got the Catholic Church coming out and saying what all to do with different paranormal events if you see spiritual entities or anything like that, what you're actually supposed to do, or if they'll actually affirm them as if they're real or fake or something like that. But I found that super interesting, and all right around the time that this demon face thing comes out, I'm like, whoa, demon face disease, where people are seeing people turning into demon faces. And I'm like, man, that God is actually revealing to us the other species that we have living here, and they have to stay ahead of the story, so they got to come and tell everybody that if you see anybody with a wild looking face or whatever, just something's wrong with you. Which I don't see that like that on everybody, but I absolutely, the past 20 years, have seen people's faces that did not look human. They look very alien or demonic almost. But it's so wild to have a therapist affirm you and say that they've had very similar experiences, and that they believe that we don't understand schizophrenia and schizoaffective disorder and other disorders that have states of psychosis or hallucinations and stuff. But we don't know what it is. And now, just recently, like last year, the big mental health medical societies or whatever over here in the US came out and finally admitted, they're like, we don't know how SSRIs are doing their thing. We don't know what causes the depression. We don't know that it's a chemical imbalance or anything like that. So basically, you're just crossing your fingers and hoping that placebo comes through and does something, in my opinion. But I recently started taking some medicines again for anxiety and for paranoia, basically, because my partner's definitely noticed that all the stuff going on in the world has kept me extremely paranoid. starting to believe that gang stalking was starting to happen again and a few other things. So she was like, your hallucinations aren't bothering me, but the paranoia is. So I finally went and got treated again, and my goodness, the doctor was listing off all this stuff that these antipsychotics can do, and I'm like, man, when I was on Thorazine for multiple years, I was like, they even put me on this other medicine. I can't remember. Chlorpromazine was the actual Thorazine, or it was the medicine you took with it to keep from the tics or whatever. And honestly, I still have tics to this day after I've been off Thorazine for years, like 18 years or something like that. I've been on the newer antipsychotics off and on, but Thorazine, man, that thing tore me up. I still have spasms all the time, my face, my tongue, my back, and my legs and stuff like that. Like at night when I lay down to go to sleep, I'll just like jerk real hard. But it's super cool to have a professional, a mental health professional, actually affirming that what you're experiencing could be the fact that you have a gift. You have psychic abilities and you're able to see into the other realm. And that's why most people that don't have abilities or gifts, they can't understand you. And that's why when kids have imaginary friends when they're little or whatever, they tell them, no, that's not real. You're imagining it. Nobody's actually talking to you. Even when all these kids, like, we have so much evidence nowadays that these kids will end up finding out that it was someone who had passed, like in their family member, that was actually watching over them and guarding them, and that was their imaginary friend. But it's just really cool, and I'm grateful to the Divine Mother for bringing this therapist into my life, because it's good feeling to have someone that doesn't really look at the world in an extremely spiritual way, see the spiritual events and the spiritual warfare and all the craziness that's going on in the world right now. It's like, I needed that big time. I needed that, because just having people tell you you're crazy all the time and something's wrong with you and you don't have no abilities, you're not gifted, you're not special, you're not able to see into the other realms, you just crazy. That's what they want you to think. And I feel like we've all been getting gaslit with people who deal with mental illness, because they literally tell us nothing is real, nothing, everything's fake. We're wrong for believing any of the stuff that we experience firsthand, personally, things that we see, things that we hear, that other people just can't seem to see or hear. But I probably should have started this at the beginning with, it's not medical advice. It's not anything to try to inspire people to do certain things or anything like that. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not giving medical advice or nothing. But yeah, I've noticed even the psych meds, the Seroquel, and this other one, I can't remember the name of it. But I've only been on it for a few weeks now, and it goes to show me that, like, look, okay, let me start here. Psych meds and antidepressants never worked for me. Maybe they would make me feel a little better for like a couple weeks or something like that, but then always, I would start having crazy side effects and just stuff that makes it completely intolerable, to where I just couldn't stay on them, And I've been cycled, I'm 40 next year, so I've been dealing with mental health issues ever since I was 8 years old. So this is 30 years that I've been through this whole system, and I can just tell that the people who claim to be doctors and claim to be specialists have very little to nothing to understand what really is happening with mental illness. Like, they don't know what causes it, they don't know how to fix it, they don't know nothing. It's almost 10 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video right here. But I love you guys so very much, and if you're suffering from any type of mental illness or something, stay strong. See a therapist. Do the whole thing that they tell you to do, but also, if it don't work for you, make your own decisions and do what's responsible. But I love you guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.